Hi, welcome. This is the Caddy Info Cadillac Conversation. I have with me tonight KHE from the forum.
You can just call me Kevin. That's fine.
Kevin, we have Kevin with us. We may have Jim with us, Cadillac Jim with us as well. He's out there lurking, trying to get on. We've had some trouble with Google Plus Hangouts tonight, which is unusual for Google Plus Hangouts, but we've had some problems with that. If you want to join us, if you contact me on Google Plus, I would be able to send you an invitation. If you want to join us live, if you'd like to take part in the questions and answer, I do have the Q&A panel up, and we will try and address your questions, and we'll mark them as we go through. If you're able to participate on Caddy Info, it's caddyinfo.com, and you can post questions in the thread about the chat tonight, and I will try and pick up on the fact that you have done so, and we will address them that way. But as I say, if you'd like to participate live, then contact me on Google+. So there's a great deal of discussion in the marketplace about Apple, and Apple is either putting together the components to offer dashboards and improved electronics for future cars, or they've started a project of building their own future car. And apparently they have 100 or more employees working full-time on this project. And
They have,
they're grabbing up employees from A123, who is GM's battery manufacturer. They're grabbing up employees from Tesla, who, of course, is not making Tesla any happier. And so the rumor is either they're making their own electric car, or they're trying to take over basically the dashboard business. Like GM uses the Q system, which has been universally panned, and the new custom dashboards, which are all video displays, of course, in the high-end Cadillacs. So my question though is, is Apple entering the marketplace because they perceive that cars are actually evolving into something quite different now? Do they see this as getting into the car business, or do they see this as getting into the autonomous mobility pod business?
I'd say it's the latter.
Are we going to end up where you program in, I want to go to work, you get in, and you read a magazine, and the pod delivers you to your desk.
Or if you're out and you've had too much to drink and you just get in the car and say, "Take me home," then they can't bust you for that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe it's like at the airport with the carts, right? Where there's a dozen pods there in the queue, and you just go over and put your
Yeah.
credit card in and get in the pod and tell it where to take you. If you're too drunk to tell it, then it reads off your credit card and takes you home.
Yeah. Well, now in the airports, I just walk. I don't even want to ride those carts. But anyway,
Yeah, I was thinking about when people have too much luggage, those carts that you can rent that are kind of in a queue.
I was
But
out in Pennsylvania and I just checked my luggage because I got tired. We were in these smaller planes, and then they make you wait for your luggage and outside, and it's like, all right, I've had enough of this. And so when I was coming back, it's like I'm checking the bag. I'm not doing that anymore.
yes, I am with you on that topic. If there's a way for me to only have carry on, then that's what I do. And so if it's a smaller flight, I actually like that just fine because they check it at the gate, so to speak, and then everything's everything.
Yeah,
Jim, we do
but
see you out there, and so if you're able to join us, then that would be great. Or if there's something else I can do. Oh, Jim says he's been invited to view, but not to join. So I will send you. I've sent maybe 4 invitations, but I will keep sending invitations until we get everybody on. So watch for a new invitation coming now. As I say, Google Plus was acting up when I first started. I ended up starting it about 3 times. I'm sorry,
actually,
Kevin.
actually, actually, Jim and I just traded places because normally I'm the one that's coming in 10 minutes
Uh,
late.
and can't find the invitation.
I can't find the invitation and everything else.
Now, part of the argument, though, is that the barrier to entry as a car manufacturer is harder than even Apple would want to deal with.
That's
You
why I
know,
don't. That's why I don't think they're going to be building a car. They're going to be somehow supplying electronics or something. I don't.
well, Tesla's a brand new entry, and they've made it work, with the power of billions of dollars of available funding. But, the way they started off was basically they were buying Lotuses and then making electric versions of it, right?
Yeah,
Their very
I
first
think so.
car was a Lotus where they removed the engine and put batteries in. And so now they're behind production, but they're making their new car. I did go ahead and pick up some shares of Tesla this last time they went down, just in case they're successful in what they're saying. After they said that eventually they're going to be bigger than Apple, have a larger market cap than Apple, then I said, well, I'll have a few shares of Tesla then, please. But
Yeah, it's too bad you didn't get in on that back when it was
well,
way lower.
and see, I wanted GM back when it was 28, and I was busy doing something else at that minute, and wasn't ready to buy. But that was a no-brainer that GM was coming back from their post-bankruptcy lows around 28 or 27, and so yeah, I really missed the boat on that. But that's kind of the story of how my stock market life works. So.
I always hear about the good deals after they happen.
And Tesla, here was the odd thing is Tesla went down yesterday because of this rumor that Apple is going to come in and outcompete them in electric cars, and then went up $7 today. I don't know if they closed, but when I was monitoring them this afternoon, they were up $7. And so let's see where they closed at. But yeah, they were up $7.24 for today, 3% on the day. And so, but so in some ways, that's if Apple is willing to get into the electric car market, does that further validate the electric car market? I wonder if that,
And
the other thing people are arguing is should Apple just buy Tesla and make a
I,
simple
yeah,
entry because Tesla's already got all
the
maybe some of the
infrastructure
hard
and
work
everything
done.
is. Yeah,
Yeah. Now the problem is that Tesla's valuation is 25 billion now for a company that's not making any money. And so you'd have to pay, the article today was saying you'd have to pay maybe 75 billion for it, which doesn't make sense.
no, not unless they're just after the name to buy the name.
And the name's not what there's no brand to say.
Right? It's
They barely have one model out, so there's no brand to buy there. Jim, we are thinking about you. If there's something that I can do that would help you get in or find the entry.
which gym are we waiting for?
Cadillac Jim says that it looks like the invitation he got allows him to view, but it doesn't allow him to join. I've never seen that before, but his question was, will the Apple Car also make calls? And with the last revision, they finally got the iPad to make calls, so I think anything's possible. But it's amusing to me that I had the iPad and it had a telephone number, but it couldn't make calls. But in iOS 8, they actually fixed it where it can make calls. So, yeah, I predict that not only will the Apple Pod Car make calls, it will provide video entertainment while you're on your en route to your destination. Right, that you'll have Netflix or Apple TV playing the latest commercials and movies for you right there in the Apple Pod on your way to your destination.
Could be.
So so part of getting all these cars to work together. Oh, Jim can't join either. Well, Jim, I'm sorry. Jim and Jim are both locked out by this whatever's going wrong with Google Plus tonight. Guys, I'm going to keep sending an invite now and then, and hopefully the electrons will all line up together. Kevin and I are in the video, as you can tell, I
That
guess.
that that could be the problem. Maybe I should log out, then they can log in.
Now, I have seen that before, but usually what happens there is we'll get Texas Jim, that happens to him where he'll be stuck there and freeze and then log back in and we'll have two of him. But no, I don't think that we're keeping them from logging in, and we're in the same hangout. You know, it's not a one-on-one call, and so otherwise they wouldn't be able to see us and let me know that there's some issue going on. But one of the important things, one of the important features to getting all this to work is MIT just said that they feel that vehicle-to-vehicle technology like GM is bringing out in the 2017 Cadillacs is one of the most important breakthroughs of our time. And the way that works under using vehicle-to-vehicle technology is cars will actually talk to each other and say clever things like, I am going 45 miles, I'm at this location going on this vector, and the other car will reply, I am at that location going on that vector. And so hopefully the cars will understand, dead reckon to avoid each other, and accidents will become a thing of the past.
So it broadcasts to every car that's
So
along
they'll
that
kind of have a
vector.
little communication handshake that every car that's near each other will broadcast to each other their location and vector on an ongoing basis.
But you have to have the vehicles equipped with that.
Right.
So
All
so
vehicles
if
will have to have that technology at some point.
so
But
it
again,
would
that
take.
will help these little egg cars, go over, under, and around each other as they get to their destination. See, it's that part that I wonder is, we'll be able to be happy driving our cars until you go to ultimate automated vehicles, and then you won't need streets anymore, right? In other words, you don't have to have traffic lanes because the automated cars can just avoid each other and go around each other and so on.
In theory, yeah.
And so those of us who still enjoy driving, it won't be safe for us to drive in those automated lanes because we can't do the avoidance maneuvers the automated cars will.
But I think if that proves out, it would take years for that to become dominant.
Yes. And then there will be, you know, bike lanes for old fashioned cars. For antiques, there'll be, oh yeah, we have a special neighborhood area over here where you can drive, crazy old people can drive your dumb cars over in this area here. But the so part of the vehicle to vehicle thing, obviously, in order for it to be effective, every car's got to have it.
Right.
And if every car had it, the cars can autonomously avoid each other. How useful is it that the 2017 Cadillac has it in today's environment?
You got to start somewhere, I guess, but I
Yeah,
don't know
I'm
what.
very much that way too. You got to start somewhere. Now I am totally in favor of, like my wife's Cadillac has the radar out the front. It has the sensors in the quarters. It has the sensors in the back. It has the sense, it warns me. As Texas Jim pointed out when he was driving the XTS, he got a big orange icon on the heads-up display saying, you're about to crash. I think that's what there's it's a whole mess of things in a big orange square. And I was laughing because you're not supposed to see that when you're driving the car carefully. That icon should never come up. But
The
the
oh shit icon.
yes, that's an adequate description. And of course, I have seen it several times in my wife's car. Now, so I'm all in favor of the more communication about what's going on outside of the car. However, how helpful is vehicle to vehicle communication when no other cars can hear it?
Right.
But you're right, you got to start somewhere, and so get those pieces in place. And I guess as long as they're telling it back to us, uh, continuing to improve our safety. Now, one of the things I would like to see that Cadillac is showing on the new, they actually use a video display in place of the rear view mirror. So the rear view mirror becomes a video monitor. The rear view mirror becomes a monitor. And what they actually show is video out the back of the car. So that when you look in the rear view mirror, instead of just seeing through, a narrow rear window, it actually shows you as if there were no car attached behind you.
Hmm.
The video,
There's a camera then?
there's a camera looking out, or three cameras, or multiple cameras, or a wide angle lens camera looking out the back of the car, say where the third brake light is.
Mm-hmm.
And then they play that video into your rear view mirror constantly, so that basically your rear view mirror becomes a perfect view out the back of the car.
Kind of like my Silverado has that backup
Yeah,
thing in
and
it.
my wife's Cadillac has a backup video on the nav display, but this interfaces just with the rear view mirror,
Yeah,
so that
mine's just a
your
little.
vision's not blocked. So
Yeah,
even if you
mine
have a
just.
tall person sitting in the back seat, your rear view mirror always works great.
I got you. Yeah, mine just like is about a third of the mirror when you shift in reverse, and then it's an angle back. It's like when you hook a trailer up. It saves a lot of arguments.
Good. And so yeah, the new ones are showing the rear view mirror becomes just the video display. Now, and I would like to see, like one of the things they do for helicopter pilots is kind of a virtual display, so that when the helicopter, so when the helicopter pilot looks to his right, he doesn't see the helicopter at all. He sees the video outside of the helicopter. So in other
Hmm.
words, if you were wearing goggles or a helmet and you were driving your Cadillac and you looked to the left, you wouldn't see the door and the window. You could see as if you were
Just
looking through the door,
like if you had your head hanging out the window.
as if your car were invisible.
Hmm.
That's the perspective of the view uh, for the helicopter pilots. So if we did that with cars, it would be when you turn to the left and look through your goggles, it would be as if the car were invisible and you could perfectly see what's coming to the left and what's coming to the right and so on.
No more blind spots.
No more blind spots. But you have to have some sort of video. The nice thing about the rearview mirror is because it can be a display, then they're reusing the interface that we're used to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim says he's not seeing the invite. So Google is I'm going to try sending individual invites to Jim and Jim and see if that works. Instead of, I have a group invite that I send to all the Caddy Info invitees. Oh, now
I
I hear
hear.
a ding, ding, ding. Oh, Jim's inviting me to a video chat. But I'm already.
Shit. Now we're off. Somehow got disconnected. We've been. Huh? You haven't paid your telephone bill lately, so we're going to have to cut you off. Everybody did that to the coyote. this is the telephone company. You haven't made your bill lately, so we're going to have to cut you off. Well, I don't know what happened.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah, okay, you're back.
I'm sorry. I got Jim sent me a direct link video call, and I didn't realize that would hang up my connection in this video.
Oh,
So
okay.
hopefully Jim's going to join us. He was able to direct link video call, so it seems like that would mean he could also do this, but we'll see. I'm reposting the invitation to Jim and everyone else. I'm sorry for the technical difficulty. This
Oh,
is an odd night.
beyond
Jim
your
said, yeah,
control.
none of the screens look correct. But yeah, I knew that from when we started, is that they okay, so what we're going to do, what we're going to try next, Kevin, since I don't see Jim, what we're going to try next is we're going to close this Hangout altogether, and then
Okay.
I'm going to hit stop broadcast, and we're going to start over.
So
So you'll
I'll
see,
need to go into Google Plus again
yes,
and then just look for, okay.
and look for a new invite, and we're going to try
All
and
right.
start all over.